Somehow I knew that it was going to come to this, that there was going to be a fire ban because there's so many fires raging in Canada and in the US as well. So with a burn ban or fire ban on, it makes it a little bit different when you're camping. The atmosphere is different. You can't make s'mores. You can't sit around the campfire in the evening. You don't have that fire light going on. And it makes for the campground noise it's almost eerily quiet. So in this video, how do we go from this, to our wee setup? You know, I was always looking for a minimalist way to do camping, and I think this is it. We have our kitchen with our screen tent, our washroom, and our sleeping area, which proved to be a little bit challenging because as seniors, you gotta crouch down. Like Stanley says, you can't stand up in the tent. And that I found made a big difference for us. Not necessarily a good one. A good while ago, there was a viewer who said that we should purchase a pop-up tent. That would be so much easier for us. And in truth, it was and is easier. Our total setup for the cove and the bug screen was about 7 minutes, and probably putting up the tent was 2 seconds. Just throw it into the air and it pops open. But what we found in sleeping in the tent was that both of us had to get up and use the washroom twice in the night. And so it was, especially with me with rheumatoid arthritis, it was a big ordeal to try to crawl and get myself down to the end of the bed, open up the screen, climb out, and sometimes I actually crawled onto the mat and then stood up and then went into the washroom tent that we have set up. Stanley never complained, but I certainly found it difficult. So I think as maybe a one night stop, the pop-up would be good. Or as I said to Stanley, I have this vision, this dream that one day we do a road trip and go down into the Shenandoah Park and Shenandoah River and down in the Virginias, and that we stop occasionally along the way, pop up our tent, sleep in it for the night, and then close it up and then move on for the next day. He wasn't opposed to the idea, which surprised me because sometimes I call him Mr. Resistor because he often will resist my initial conversation or attempt or idea at something until I give him time to think about it, and then he warms up to the idea, especially if I give him reasons why it's going to benefit him. Everybody wants to know that. When you tell them something, what's in it for me? So whether we do that one day, I don't know, but it's still a bit of a dream. So the pop-up tent and the Napier Cove and the bug screen, this whole setup that we're going to show you might prove useful for a road trip. So, but it was fun just trying it at least once. So continue on, and you'll watch and see how we manage this. Plus, at the end of the video, we share a conversation. Every once in a while, Stanley comes up with something. He starts a conversation. He might start with a question or an idea, and I think to myself, I got to get this on camera. So it's very candid, and you may enjoy it. He started talking about rewards and disappointments at the end of life. So stay tuned for that, or you can fast forward and go to that point. Now I'm going to fast forward a little bit of this because you know what it's like to set up a tent. But maybe you don't want to miss any of the details, so here we go. And relax. Cheers to the American vintage.
You're still going to have your assets.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, that didn't take long.
No, it didn't. It didn't take long at all. Maybe half an hour.
And then
And the tent was up
the
pretty
tent's
fast.
actually going to go right where we are. So in the night, if you have to go to the bathroom, you go step on the mat, walk over.
So I have to, oh yeah, right. So I'll be at one of the entrances to the tent here. So I just got to crawl out and turn left.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, I can leave the door open.
Yeah, that's true. Just watch your feet on the little ledge.
We'll see the family. What?
So you forget about the ledge, you trip and fall, the whole tent folds in on you, and you're lying there, I can't get out. Judy! And I'm sound asleep.
So you're looking forward to wrestling me to the ground?
To wrestling you to the
It's
ground?
just a joke.
Yeah, I guess so.
What were you going to say?
No, I had to, it took a moment for, you know, the hearing, right? What did I hear him say? Yes, I did hear him say that.
I like to do this.
You're on the camera, you know.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
I can't keep talking, can I?
No, not like that.
It's funny, you know. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to turn off the camera.
Yeah, turn it off.
This is X-rated. Biodegradable bags. Little hole in the bag. Alright, as long as it's not in the bottom. How are you? tent it goes. You can turn off the camera now.
Oh, you do.
Take her out, pop her up.
What was it, the tent we had with an awful time to get it put back together?
Well, initially that one, but now I got it down to a science. Let her go. Over the tarp.
Just let it go now, like this?
Yeah, just. Okay, now, yeah, it always does that. On the tarp and
That one.
yeah, so do the other ones first on the sides and then the back.
This doesn't look like it's fully extended.
Really big campsites. Look, we don't need all this. Next time we're gonna invite our family. And this is an electrical site. Earl Row Park is great for hiking and fishing, but don't expect the beach to be usable. Years ago, it used to be like this, lots of people enjoying the water and everything, but what happened was the geese took over the park, well, at least the water, the lake, and so they inhabit the area, and the provincial park people say, well, it's their land, so we're letting them have it. So you can't swim in the lake because there's too much bird poop in there. And even the beach, you kind of got to watch where you walk because, well, you want the birds leave their tracks behind. So I am on the search for the birds. Now, this visit, there's fewer birds than we normally see, but it's not migration season yet. And so when that comes along in September, you're going to see a lot of the birds on the beach here. But still, it's kind of fun to watch. And I like to sneak up on the birds. A fun place to get stuff for camping. Fire starters. They are wax and sawdust. I could make those.
I wonder if we got an invite to the United States. Or what?
I know we have a picnic table, but I like my own. And I can step on my rug here without being on the dirt over there. Sue's pizza pasta. You want the recipe? Let me know. I made it up. I love the mornings when we're camping. I love getting up and having the coffee, and usually Stanley makes it for us, but the last 2 times I've got up before him. Guess I'm too excited, and I've made the coffee. So these are our cubbies. I made these cubbies, and we have our kitchen utensil bag here, and then we have our Tommy Hilfiger insulated bag with all our cold stuff in it, and then our dry bag, dry foods. And we're going to have muffins this morning because since it's been so hot out, I just thought it might be easy to have just sort of a grab and go breakfast. We do have, I have eggs and milk in a bottle that I can make up some eggs later on, some scrambled eggs for us. So this is our kitchen area, and we froze those bottles of water to keep everything cold, as well as adding the ice packs. There is my eggs. Yep, just shake her up there. So it makes it really convenient. You don't have to break open the shells or deal with any of that. It's all ready. Just heat up your pan and pour it in and make your scrambled eggs. There's the milk for our coffee. We store it in a Pepsi bottle. And what else are we going to have? Right, I always need sugar for my coffee. And this is our water dispenser. We have a little USB rechargeable unit on top, and the water comes out of the jug for us, a 3-gallon jug, and that's usually enough. So there's our kitchen set up with our tent, our bug screen tent. We actually had a few mosquitoes join us for breakfast, so we closed up the screen and then we had our breakfast inside there. And that's our wee camping setup. What a glorious morning. Oh, and then a few blue jays decided to hang about. I tried to get them on video, but they flitter around so fast. There's one that just landed way up there. There he is. He's looking at me and he's like, I'm out of here. Blue jays, cardinals, that was the 2 main birds.
So the question was, do you find as you get older that there's more rewards in your life or disappointments?
That's a tough one, I think. I don't know. What do you think? Are you finding that?
Well, I think it variables on a whole lot of particular sub-questions. The encouragements and joy. What word did I use? What kind of disappointments? What kind of
Rewards.
rewards, disappointments and rewards? A lot depends on what you've done with your life previously. For instance, if you have a good financial plan, it's likely that you'll retire where you'll be enjoying life, not worried about money. Or if you have a good, solid education, it's likely you've been making decent money and hopefully investing it well. But a lot of it depends on, like, disappointments can come through no fault of your own. You can be just enjoying life and traveling along, having a good time, and suddenly your partner leaves and your life is then devastated, and then you're seeking out help from your friends, from counselors. So it's the suddenness of disappointment. So this is a big question, but
Well, okay, so hearing what you're saying, for me to reflect on that, okay, so I have to say that the earliest parts of my life, you know, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, big struggles, right? But then you came along when I was 43, you were 54, and we met and married in 6 weeks, which I always say was out of character for me because I didn't, there's a lot of things I didn't do. Like I didn't say, how much money does he make? You know, that didn't really matter. I was just enamored with you. So from 43 on, other than, you know, the maybe scuffles we had in raising kids, was good, okay, 43 on. And then I found my 50s got even better. 60s were even better, in part because I stopped worrying about certain things. Because you begin to realize when you're 50 and 60 that a lot of the stuff you worried about was a waste of energy. So I would have to say the rewards are better and greater. So it's just gradually increasing and getting better. Have you found that?
Say that again.
I've just found that, as I've aged, 40s, 50s, 60s, and now I'm 70, this month, 71, it just gets better as I go along. So if you equate that to reward, I'd have to say yes. Yeah, I think there's less disappointment.
I think also what you do with the disappointment, if you take a disappointment and decide to just go your own way and try and work it out yourself, and maybe even if you are a Christian, to drift from the Lord, you're in for more disappointment.
Yeah.
But if you make up your mind that you're going to, I'll follow Jesus. I've decided to follow Jesus. Then you might find even then there's a dry spot, a delay. But if you stick with it and seek the Lord with all your heart, you will find you'll get into maybe not a gold Cadillac, but a steadfast life where you can serve the Lord. Because the most important thing is, am I following Jesus? Am I serving the Lord with all my heart? And that's brings a great deal of joy. After all, isn't it the fruit of the Holy Spirit that brings satisfaction in your life, like love,
joy,
peace, gentleness,
kindness,
goodness,
meekness,
faithfulness, meekness, and self-control. And all of those, without an exception, is a life that is steadfast with the Lord and also benefits other people, because Jesus will be front and center in your life, and you'll be a rich blessing wherever you go.
Right. So as you say that, and all my years, I accepted the Lord when I was 16. So from that point on, I think there was always some kind of ministry or volunteer work or something that I was involved in. I find that as I've aged, being a senior, that maybe the last couple of years I haven't really done much. So when you think about serving the Lord, I think people naturally think some kind of ministry, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it's just a heartfelt steadiness. I follow God, I love the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like I'm not involved in any ministries now. I'm not going over to Africa like we used to, and I'm not helping out at the church like we used to, and but
you were 20 years a counselor.
Yeah.
And well trained.
Yeah.
And you served the Lord that way. That's a good service, and then that will leave good things behind it as well. And also you were filled up with knowledge of psychology and counseling, and you put that together with the Lord, and even though it's not a big official thing, it's still working sometimes behind the scenes, just quietly giving somebody a word of counsel, pray for people. It's all good.
So I think serving the Lord, even as a senior, it's a heartfelt steadfastness.
Absolutely.
And then you're available for God to use you whenever He chooses, which happens. You meet somebody in the grocery store, and then you're able to encourage them, or things just happen. It's not the steady flow like it used to be, going to Africa or some other ministry. But it's still there. So you're still useful as a senior.
If you submit to the Lord, always useful.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Good conversation.
Who do we have here?
We have.
The beach is unusable. The birds have taken it over, but then the park They created a nice pool. It's not really deep, but it's a great wading pool, and it's probably about 3-4 feet deep in the very center. So, but it's a great place to sort of float around in and definitely keep cool. My grandkids would love to be here, and a lot of the kids were here having fun. There's Stanley with the umbrella. He has to stay out of the sun because he has some skin cancer going on, and he's been getting treatments for that. So, and I guess we should always try to stay out of the sun as much as we can, anyways, these days. So it was a great time, and I definitely want to come back, even as a day use in the park, and make more use of this pool, just to cool off, because we're still in a heat wave. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching and staying along this long.